you're tuning into TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Herbal Tuesday. And I am bringing a gem to you guys. I really hope you watch this. I hope you like, subscribe, and share, because this is an herb that a lot of us use every day in most of our cooking, and just pretty much everybody adores this herb. But do you actually know what it is good for? And that is garlic. So I know I particularly love garlic. I put it on almost everything. Outside of fruit and fruity stuff and in my smoothies, I don't know what I don't use it for. Like I can't think. Like even if I have bread, I like to have garlic on it. This is so flavorful. It's delicious. It is part of the onion family. And it's also called garlic because it means spear-like. So the shape of the cloves, because they're spear-like, or the shape of like a leaf, that's how it gets its name, garlic. But I wanted to tell you some of the things that it's good for. But before I do, you guys know I have to give my disclaimer, because I don't want nobody coming for me saying, well, she said no. Okay, so let me give the disclaimer. So these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and neither is the information that I am providing. It is not intended to be used by pregnant or nursing women, and if you have medical conditions or are taking medication, consult your doctor before use, and discontinue use. And discontinue use with your doctor and consult your doctor, sorry, if any adverse reactions occur. So that's the disclaimer. We got that out the way. So before I get started in what it's good for, I do want to say this. Garlic is a blood thinner. So if you are on blood thinning medications, you want to be very careful on how much intake you have of garlic, because again, it is a blood thinner. Now, on the plus side, one of the benefits of it is because it's such a good blood thinner, it actually helps lower blood pressure, because it thins the blood out and helps the heart work a little less by doing so. It is also very high in CoQ10, which is very good for your heart, and it's actually an antibiotic, but it's really good for your heart, your heart functionings, and your heart health. So when it comes to your heart, garlic is good. If you're on a blood thinner, though, not so good, okay? So you just want to be careful with that. So again, if you are on a blood thinner, you want to be very careful on how much garlic you intake, because it will thin your blood. Now, some of the other properties of garlic, and I'm sorry, y'all, I released some weight, and ever since then, it's like this keeps moving and wants to choke me, so. But anyway, so some of the other properties of garlic that I didn't know is, one, it actually will help clear up hardening arteries. That was something I just learned. I didn't know that about garlic prior to today. So it will actually help clear up the hardening of your arteries. It is actually a liver and gallbladder rejuvenator, which is something else I did not know about it. I did know it was an antibiotic, so if you are on antibiotics, you want to be careful about your garlic intake too, so that you're not countering the effects of what you're taking antibiotics for. Now, and since I mentioned that too, people think that if you take an antibiotic, it's good for anything, that any kind of bacterial infection you have. They have specific antibiotics for specific bacteria that you may be infected with. So to say that garlic is going to clear any bacteria infection you have, not likely. Will it clear a lot of them? Probably. But when it comes to antibiotics that the doctors and things give you, you want to be careful about that and be mindful. So if you have some left over, or you didn't take all of it, or they gave you 2 weeks and you only took 7, something like that, just don't assume that if you end up with another infection that antibiotic will be okay, because it's not the same. But that's just a little side note on that. But as far as garlic go, it is a natural antibiotic, so it can help with your digestion. So if you have irritable digestions, like an infection, or you got diarrhea going on, garlic can actually help with that. And I think one of the reasons that it is able to go in and help with that is because we have these little hairs in our intestines. And what those little hairs do is they pull out the nutrients out of your intestines, out of the food that you eat that was broken down by your stomach. And it pulls those nutrients out to put it in the bloodstream. But if you consume something that the body doesn't want or doesn't like, then what happens is you get this lubrication. It's actually mucus, okay? Your body will naturally produce it to kind of protect itself from absorbing things that it doesn't need or want to absorb. And that mucus will stay there until whatever it is that passes. Now, the problem is that a lot of the foods that we eat every day do not allow our bodies to rejuvenate and release that mucus. And so garlic will come in and help break down mucus. So it breaks it down in the body, but it also does it in your intestines. And that's why I think it helps when you have like diarrhea or you have some kind of infection. I think that is just my opinion. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I didn't study anatomy and all of that. I just know what I know. The information has come to me over the years. So that is my speculation on why it works. But garlic is a good thing to have to actually break down mucus. That's why when you have a cold and people tell you to drink, chicken broth or have chicken noodle soup or something, because it has a high content of garlic in it. I actually used to work at the bank, and I remember there was a lady who was there, and she said that her grandmother, when they were back in the old country, which was, I believe they were either from the Ukraine or Russia, but somewhere over there. She said that they would take a clove of garlic and just swallow a clove of garlic every single day. And then during the winter months, they never got sick. And I think that's because it has the ability to break down mucus, because mucus in your body is a perfect habitat for disease to come in and settle. So because garlic will break down the mucus, and because it has its own antibiotic properties, I believe that's why they were able to prevent themselves from getting sick by consuming it every day. Now, there's another one I could tell you about as well. So this is bring it in. Hopefully you can see it. There you go. So this is a garlic extract. And this I use when I do cleanses, because I use this as a kidney flush. And what I do is I take about 10 drops of this, the juice of a whole lemon, a dash or two of cayenne pepper, and then some warm water. And I drink it down like a tea when I do my cleanses. And that's a kidney flush. So it helps clean out your kidneys. So there's many ways that you can take it for medicinal purposes or medical purposes other than just putting it in your food and consuming it. Like I said, the one lady used to swallow it. Some people take garlic peels. I wouldn't necessarily recommend garlic peels per se, just because a lot of times when you buy supplements and things over the counters, they're filled with fillers. And so the amount that you actually get of the actual herb may be less than what it is they're actually saying it is. And with something like garlic that's so easily and readily available, I think it's better if you were to take it actual or even in a liquid form, like in the extract form, rather than in the peel. And that's for a lot of stuff, but especially stuff that's so readily available and relatively cheap. Like this bulb was one of 3 that I think I got for like less than $2. I really want to say it was like $1.20 or something like that, but I don't quite remember. But so it's relatively cheap. So my recommendation would be that you would take it in its natural form. Okay, one of it, like I said, as an extract or as the actual herb itself in your food. Another thing you can do is when you have a cold, you can take you take about 3 garlic cloves, 3 regular sized garlic cloves. So if you got one of them jumbo cloves, it would just be that one and maybe another. If you got them really tiny cloves, then you might want to do, maybe about 6 of them. But if you just a normal regular clove, you take about 3 of them and you crush it. You mash it and you crush it. Okay, you add some cayenne pepper to it, and then you add some honey to it, and you mix it up. And you mix it up until it has kind of like a sunset type of color. So it's that reddish, orangish, yellowish color. And you mix it up like that, and then you can just take a tablespoon of it as needed throughout your day, and it will help with sore throats. It helps with your cold, things like that. And then, like I said, I put it sometimes in my green drink. If I feel like I'm coming down with something, or I just feel a little off, then in my green drink, I'll throw in a couple of garlic cloves. And my green drink basically just consists of dandelion leaf, romaine lettuce, distilled water, half the juice of a lemon. And then, like I said, if I'm feeling a little off, I'll put 2 garlic cloves in there, and I'll drink that down. Trying to think of how else you can take it, because I think there's one other way I do use it. So when I did work at the bank, there was the lady that I worked with, and I call her my Filipino mother. Okay, because she reminded me a lot of my mom, except for she was Filipino. And one of the things that she said, because I remember when I was working there, I had a sore throat, and she was like, get you some garlic, cut it up, and then put some honey over it. You know, put it on a spoon, put some honey over it, and swallow it. And so I used to do that. I made my kids do that. So when we had colds, or it started getting them symptoms, them first symptoms of it, that's how we would take it. And it would go away. Like, we wouldn't have that issue anymore. So it's kind of like the same as the one with the cayenne pepper and stuff. You just don't have to mash it up so bad. But those are just some medicinal ways in which you can use garlic. Y'all know I love cayenne pepper. That's why I almost said it. But that's a couple of the ways that you can use garlic in a medicinal purpose. Other than that, if you just really want to enjoy it and how you're using it, you know, follow the Italians, okay? Put it in your pasta sauces, or just put in some olive oil with some other herbs like some salt, some pepper. What else do I use? I use salt, pepper, rosemary, thyme, oregano, you know, that nice little blend of it. Throw some fresh garlic in there as well. Put some olive oil on it, mix it all up, and dip your bread in it. I'm telling you, it's so fantastic. Or you can just add some lemon juice to that and pour it over your pasta. It is so freaking good, I'm telling you. But that's what I wanted to bring to you guys today, because I know everybody has this, but we might not know that it's actually good for you, what it does for you, and how it can benefit you. And I do just want to make sure I touched on everything. I told you guys it will help lower your blood pressure, and it has to do with the thinning, the high in CoQ10, which is a natural antibiotic. It actually corrects the hardening of arteries, helps with intestinal infections, rejuvenates your liver and your bladder, and cleans and clears away mucus. So that's everything for this little guy right here. And like I said, it's so cheap. Like, even if you were to buy this by yourself, I think right now, even with the prices going up, I think the last time I saw it, it was like $2 for $1 or $3 for $1. And you can cut the top off of this, throw some olive oil on it with a little salt and pepper, and put it in the oven, and you got roasted garlic. Okay, like, I love this stuff. Like, it has its own distinct smell, which smells fantastic and makes you want pasta or bread or something. Just find a way to eat it. But I love it. It's one of my favorites, and I'm sure a lot of you do as well. And now you know why it is good for you. So I love you guys, and I will talk to you tomorrow.